It's showtime. Hello, everyone. Let me open up the video on YouTube, make sure the sound is good. I barely promoted this live stream. I just kind of, oops, my phone. Let me get my phone. You can hear me talk while I go get it. Great way to open the stream by walking out the room, of course. Let me, I do want to send over story thing just to let people know. Oh, we're already 14 people. Hey, Lakshay, how are you doing? Hope everything is well with you. Yes, we're going to talk for a while. I want to share some fun things with you. So let me first just get the link for the live stream. Hey, Fuse Blower. I see Arch Hot Press set knitted drawer. That's right. Great keen eye. I saw this at the corner of my eye, and I'm like, I'll leave it open. Didn't feel like turning around and closing it. So we'll let Instagram know we're here. In fact, I could just go live on Instagram simultaneously. Should I do that? Maybe we'll do that. Let's try something fun. Okay, let's go live. I won't be able to show the exact same things, but I mean, it's gonna be fun. So 3, 2, 1, and we're gonna start. Okay, good. You are now live. Awesome. Hey, Instagram. So we have a bunch of channels here. I don't even have a tripod for my phone. But yeah, let's see if I can get this to, because I don't have much battery on my phone right now. So I'll need to figure out a way to place this while it's charging. Hey, Carol. Hey, Daniel. Hey, Travel Photo. Okay, a bunch of people. Thank you for being here. So we're streaming both to YouTube. Oops, there we go. You see? There we go. How much battery do I have? Okay, we'll leave this hanging here for a couple of moments like this. And then once it's charged enough, I'll disconnect it and we'll have a bit of a better angle. But yeah, just wanted to do a fun chat. I do these always this time Thursday on YouTube, but I don't know why I don't do enough live streams on Instagram. So you're going to see me alternating between the angles. Fuse Blower on YouTube said, cleverly noticed I have Arch paper there in the drawer. I have a cool painting to share with you. Let me just go ahead and scan this thing. So let me see. I got everything ready today on time. I don't know why. By the way, how's the audio on Instagram? Because I have no mic, no nothing. I'm mic'd for YouTube. That's something I should figure out too, because you just hear my voice. It's probably not the best quality of sound, but that's fine. So I'm going to go to my documents, scan documents. Today we're going to talk about. So I titled the stream "Transform Your Watercolor Skills in 6 months," because I think a lot can be done in 6 months. So many people think they need to take ages to improve. The thing is, it's kind of whatever you believe type of deal. If you believe it's going to take a long time, it will take a long time. By the way, let me know, especially on Instagram, because I don't do much. I'm going to wave back at you. I don't do many streams on Instagram. Let me know, Bomdia yourself, Forlanede. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Let me know where you're from. And if you're painting something or working on something, let me know. I'm curious to hear. Automate photo merge. Now for Instagram, actually, I won't be able to present on the screen. So what we'll do is I'll just show you the original painting. But I do want to get the painting scanned. So, everyone has, no matter what you do, everyone has a bunch of limiting beliefs. And I find that the more the years go by, the less I let these affect me. So Instagram can see the painting a little better than YouTube. Louisiana. Okay, we have J. Thomas Art from Louisiana. We have, hope you're doing well. We have Into the Wild. It says bonjour, so maybe you're in Paris. I don't remember. Carl's from Switzerland. Jasmine Art. Sir, could I ask something? I can manage to draw outlines, but I just can't color. I can't even see what color it is. Yeah, that's somewhat of a feedback loop too. What you want to do is you want to start building a process where at least you can look at what you have on paper and see what you got wrong. If you can do that, you'll do really well. It is a little hard at first. What I would do, honestly, what I did in the past too, I would put my paintings right into Photoshop. I'd scan them, put them in Photoshop, and actually compare the colors. One more little trick I can give you is you can actually put the painting, print the reference photo. If you have it printed next to the paper, you'll have a bit of an easier time seeing the colors. And not to mention plein air, which is a completely different thing. There you see the colors differently. But yeah, let me save this. I'm going to put this up on the screen on YouTube. By the way, if you want to jump ship from Instagram to YouTube, feel free to come here. We have Fluff here on YouTube. It's intense. Streaming to 2 platforms at once is intense. I had no idea it's going to be this intense. Seeing all the names running on both channels, it's crazy. Hey, Fluff, how are you doing? Hey, Stephanie. Good morning, afternoon in my case. Yeah, it's around 3:30 p.m. Today. I don't know how long we're going to go today. We'll have to kind of see how much energy I have, basically. Let me just grab these. I want to throw them right into the folder of this stream. There we go. Okay, I'm going to bring it up on the screen on YouTube. If you want to actually see a scan of the painting I just shared with you, Instagram, go over to YouTube and see it. Let's see here. I lost the track of the live chat. Hey, Christian, how are you doing? Hey, Kasia. Yeah, there needs to be one app that catches both chats in one. Yeah, but that might be too much. Just with art, I really appreciate that reply. I'm really struggling. I'll try painting the reference. Yeah, and have it printed. It's much easier than looking at a screen. Okay, so let me bring up, add file. We'll get this. Okay. Here, I mean, I could do something a little better. Let's do this. Let's just present, share screen, window, dark parking lot. There we go. So this is fun. I painted this yesterday for the Watercolor Breakthrough Club. It's still work in progress. We're probably going to do another stream to add some details. But I just thought I'd share with you. It's fun to see a painting that is like 2/3 done. And just look at this thing, right? It's so messy in a way. The whole idea was to be abstract. So it's great fun. For Instagram, there we go. Right here. By the way, let me know in the chat. Instagram, chat moves fast. Let me know, what are you working on? Are you painting something right now? Let me know. Stephanie, hey, how are you, Stephanie? Listening to 2 streams at once is trippy. Instagram is slightly behind. Yeah, I see you here too. It's funny. Stephanie is writing in the chat of both streams. Creative Click, hey, how are you doing? Hey, Dwayne, how are you, my friend? Good to see you again. Love your car book. Thank you so much. I have some copies of my car book. I don't know if people on Instagram know, because I don't show it enough. Let me grab it. Where did I put it? Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. This is my book. To those who don't know, you can find it on Amazon. It's definitely mirrored on Instagram. On YouTube, not mirrored. But yeah, painting a masterpiece. This is my car book, basically. All my car paintings. Let me show you my favorite one. Danger BS. Which size sheet do you recommend for watercolors? I think when you start to get to the sizes that's equivalent to A3, you're doing a good job. A4 is good. A3 is better, because then you can start putting in details. This painting that you're seeing on the screen right now, which for Instagram is this one, that's A3, approximately A3. These were all, for example, tiny. The car painting books, this is my favorite. Probably most people have seen it at some point. This one's really good. But yeah, if you want a book with tons of my art, that's the one. Yeah, Fluff, yeah, how are you doing? Doing good. Just finished the painting yesterday and planning to post the pics today on social media. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, so there's a lot of things going on, actually. But one of the things I noticed is growth really comes in spurts. It really is almost a matter of decision. I know it's trippy, but it's almost, you finally decide, okay, I deserve that next level. And then you do what it takes to get there. It's so strange, because I can definitely find these moments in my, past 12 years, almost 11 years of making art more seriously, right? Watercolor is about a decade. And it really is a matter of decision. And then it becomes like a game of what can you do to make that decision, to accept that you can, that it's time to level up. You know what I mean? Very often, funny enough, what happens is you paint something that feels way outside your league and outside your range, and then you get it. Oh, okay, so I can create this kind of a thing, and that's enough for some people to just experience crazy growth at that point. It's like an avalanche. The trick is, again, how you even get to paint something like this. To me, I find that it really is a game of the mind. It's crazy how much a game of the mind it is. You know, if you have confidence, it's very easy to paint something like this, to just go at it. I'm going to zoom in for YouTube here. The best experience is on YouTube. One thing I do need to do here is around this street lamp, right around here. I could probably just paint a white shape for the heart of the light, the actual most well-lit area, just to really show the effect of light. Very often, what you get with light that is colorful, whether it's warm or cool, you get the center that is just white, and then around it a more saturated color, and then dark and black. So I could definitely go for a white like this. By the way, I used tons of opaque paint here, you know, tons and tons of opaque paint here. Just for fun, really, just to break out a ton of details. Let's see some questions. Fluff says, just finished a painting yesterday. I'm planning to post pics today. I said, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Oh, we have Ricky in the house. Hey, Jumbly. Okay, I'll try and remember. It's hard to connect sometimes usernames. Let's see here. I'll remember you. So yeah, it was a great demo for the cloud. What am I seeing here? I don't know. I'm so unfamiliar with Instagram. It's such a weird interface to me. Okay, let's disconnect this from charging. We're good. We can have a bit of a better angle now. I have my kneaded eraser. You can see it here. Sometimes if I just want to play with something while I talk, it's fun. We have Christina in the house. Hey, Christina, how are you doing? I'm thirsty today. I'm really thirsty. So yes, a lot of it, sometimes I'll start a painting and I will feel somewhat confident. And then as the painting progresses, a lot of things can happen. Sometimes it's an avalanche. You get more confident the more progress you make. Sometimes what happens, and tell me if you can relate, is it feels like almost you lose confidence because things aren't working the way you wanted them to. But very often, if you just keep at it and you keep adding the details and removing details and changing things around, it actually ends up clicking. So you will see, for example, it was this car for me, was big. Like, okay, I'm seeing its shape now. Oh, okay, so this is the headlight, and I can see the tires and the doors. And once you see it, your confidence comes back, and you have something to relate the rest of the details to. So it really is a mental game, and I think the more experienced you are, the more you're able. It's not really a matter of persevering through the ugly stage, in my opinion. It's actually a matter of moving towards your vision. And if you can continue walking towards your vision, even if you still can't see it yet, I think that's what leads to good results. And that's what separates a lot of beginners from more professional artists. The professional artist is willing to just keep going until the result actually shows up. You know, I don't know if this makes sense. Let me know on Instagram. Are you alive? Let me know if this makes any sense, if you could relate to this. And tell me, by the way, are you painting with watercolor? What are you doing? What medium are you using? I know I have so many followers who are not really necessarily just into watercolor, you know. So I'm curious to hear about that. Yeah, so my plan for this one, you know, I look at this. Someone left me a comment on Instagram. They said, just keep it as it is. Don't change anything. And sometimes I would agree, but actually, if I look at a painting and I have a very clear vision of how I want to continue it, I will continue it. And here's what I imagine. So tell me if you can imagine this. Around the bottom here, what I feel like, it needs to be darker, but not by much, just a little bit darker, because this is a night scene, so everything needs to be a little darker. So I feel like doing a glaze of pretty much the same color, like a yellowy green, just to give it a bit more value and a bit more color, just a bit. It still will be more neutral than the background. So imagine like a transparent wash over this, just to give it some strength. And then it's a matter of zooming in on all of these cars and really just digging in, right? So does this need to be lighter? Add lights. Does this need to be, should I organize? Does this have a negative like dark shape around it that defines it? Add that shape in. Whenever I have this really clear vision for a painting, I know I should continue it. And I really go with my vision. It's a matter of the path of least resistance. Art is not supposed to be hard. I know it's very romantic. There's a lot of artists who, I don't know what the interest to do this is, but a lot of artists really believe that this struggle is a part of the art. I don't see it this way at all. To me, it's not. There is no struggle. It's about freedom, and painting the thing that speaks to you in a way that speaks to you without hearing anyone else's voice. If you're struggling, even if you painted a masterpiece, you kind of lost, in my opinion. And you know what? If you're struggling, but you painted a masterpiece, at least you painted a masterpiece. But I find that most struggles don't lead to masterpieces. And that's the thing. So I'd much rather, have fun. Hey, Rashid, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Who do I see here? Let me call out some names. I see Shahrazad. I see Babsid. I don't know if I can pronounce stuff. I see Hani. I see Nubis. I see Andromeda. Okay, Andromeda. ANJ, which is probably Anya or something like this. Anya, Komsi, do you start with the background or the subject? Ooh, that's a good question. Actually, to me, it's a matter of what inspires me most. I love starting with the thing that interests me the most about a scene. And how cool is that, right? You don't, because there's a lot of philosophies, start from large to small, from light to dark, all of that. But what's the value of following a process if you do something that's different from what's burning inside you? You know what I mean? If what's burning inside you is to paint this specific car, why not just start with this car? And you can figure out the rest later and how it all connects later. It's super easy. A successful painting can be achieved by starting from this point, from that point, from this detail, from that detail, from one large overarching wash to multiple different washes. It's all a matter of what you're inspired to do. Let me see what you're saying here. Danger BS, what should I start to paint to get better at watercolor? I've been doing watercolor for over 4 months and I still haven't gotten better. Yeah, 4 months is a lot, but it's also, it's a little. I'll have to see your paintings to really comment. But I will say it's not about what you should start painting. I would say if you're just painting the same thing, like the same subject matter, I would try painting multiple different ones, just because it will expand your horizons a bit. Because different subject matter do sometimes lend themselves to different processes. And what I mean by that is sometimes a portrait will demand you stay working on one area for a longer time. Florals have that same effect. So it's not always like a large wash, like a landscape. You really need to work area by area sometimes. So by doing a portrait, you'll find out different tools. And then you can bring those tools to painting landscapes. I think also a lot of it is about observation. So if you observe things really carefully, just everyday life, you look at stuff, that feeds a lot into how you paint. And I would say join my webinar in about 3 weeks, where I'll teach you something really cool called the BEST method, BEST. It's something new I'm developing that will close a lot of gaps that aren't addressed in tutorials and videos. So be sure to check that out. And you can join the Watercolor Breakthrough Club. That would surely help. Moscow Cowboy, hey, good morning from Jacksonville, Florida. What a nice surprise. Thank you. Yeah, it was like I didn't plan this one out. John Lee, I like watercolor and graphite. I'm going to go by the username I see. I know you're Ricky. I like watercolor and graphite mostly. Cool. Yeah, graphite is something I need to do more of. Christina asks, do you paint with paper slightly elevated versus completely flat? I recently started propping paper up, and I feel it improves the process of obtaining on-paper vision in my mind. Yeah, if it improves your vision, if it speaks to you, like painting at an angle like this, then definitely do that. I find that very fast a sharp angle becomes very unruly and things flow down too much. But if you embrace the chaos and if it feeds into your own style, you can do it, of course, and it will work well. I think there is a very practical element to painting with the paper at an angle, for sure, whenever you need more flow. So think painting a wide scene where it's a big wash, right? And you have to manage the flow. It's so hard. For that kind of a thing, I would definitely paint at an angle. Sometimes a serious angle. You don't need much, like this kind of, I don't know. So this is 0. This would be like a 10 degree. This is 45. 45 is max. You don't need 45. I'll go like 10 or maybe 30, something like that. That usually is enough to get some flow. Sorry, on YouTube, you couldn't see any of that. 10%, 45. I'd go like 10 to 30, something like that. You don't need too much of it. Fluff, I find the lack of confidence in painting bad. I like mixed media, mainly watercolor pencils, and other water-soluble medium. Cool. You have shown me some, when the paintings you sent me, there was a lot of pen and ink involved too, right? Or am I wrong? If I recall. I think there was. Fuse blur, I start with the subject so I can modify the background to emphasize the subject more. Yeah, definitely. That's another almost school of thought. You start with the subject matter, so that way you can relate everything to that. And everyone will have a bit of a different kind of a desire or process that works for them, for sure. Sometimes I like to keep it for last, Sometimes I love painting the focal point last, just painting around it, painting the background. Like here, I did start with the background, with the sky, just because it's a big, really dark wash. I wanted to get it done and to push it as dark as it needs to be. But you don't have to, of course. Elevated paper, free verticals. Must go away. I start with the underlying light for the entire piece. Then I block in the largest shapes, shadows. Yeah, that's a process that people often work with. I found that at some point I had to ditch that. I do see the merit of that, but at some point I got tired of doing it always that way, though it definitely works really nicely. You can definitely set a lot of the light and the mood with an underpainting. So you do just maybe a thin wash. Sometimes it's darker. And sometimes I still do that, right? That's my pink bottle. Hey, Kobe. If I'm not mistaken, you are or you were a patron, right? I think. Thank you so much for your support. I'm trying to recognize the usernames. They look different on Instagram. So yeah, this is one thing I've been working on. Let me show you. I actually have it printed around here. I want to paint this next. I printed it out. This is a picture I took in Ohio. I would love to paint, especially this tree and this whole composition. I find it really interesting. I'll open it up on the screen on Instagram. Let me go ahead and open it up. It will be my next serious project. I don't know how long it'll take and how much time I'll devote to it. But I feel like kind of working on this one at my own pace. But this is definitely, you may recognize I painted this tree, just this tree on YouTube, just vertical format. But I don't know, I love all of these plays of light and shadow in the branches. To me, that's very, very, very interesting. So that's kind of my purpose with this. Think how many of these details you can just get in with kind of gouache mixed media style after you have the darks into. I love this greens right here. These are really, really interesting. So yeah, I would love to capture this one. I have a couple more, but they're so complex with the format of the tree branches. It's all like there's some fallen trees. It's a big, big mess. I would love to paint it one day, but it's not today. So yeah, and you see like these tree barks, you can get so lost in the details. You have to be really careful. If you're not looking for photo or hyperrealism, all these small, tiny details, it's really bad. You can really get lost in those. You don't want that to happen. Like, to me, it's about the overall light and shadow sense of the scene. That's what I'm looking for. Christina, do you use a particular color for underpainting? Just my regular primary colors, you know. Sometimes for skies like this, you don't want to go to like ultramarine. I find that it looks a little cheesy when you use ultramarine straight out of the tube. It's still not a very natural color at the end of the day. So I end up mixing it with my phthalo blue, with like a white gouache paint, just to make it look more natural. You need it almost to be more of a gray cerulean than it is just a blue out of the tube. Because, sorry, there's a yawn coming. I'm so tired always. The ultramarine is a little purpley. And that looks strange directly out of the tube, you know. Love and Deb's Faith and Fit 50s. That's a cool username. Newbie here. Do you use cold press or hot press paper? Yeah, so it will depend on my mood. I actually just talked about it. Yeah, I wrote about it actually as a reply to someone. Usually my default is cold press, and cold press paper is the texture, right? You can hear the texture, you can see the texture. That's my go-to, but sometimes a scene will just play better with hot press. It requires a bit of a different technique, but sometimes it'll look better. Sometimes portraits work better on hot press, depending on how grainy of details you need, because sometimes the texture takes away from the painting. So you want to be careful about it. Now, textures work perfectly for landscapes and stuff like that. So cold press, rough texture is great for landscapes, seascapes even, for the foam, right? It just makes it easier. But hot press is really good if you really want the lines to be clear and crisp. With that, I enjoy the cold press technique more. Hot press, you have to paint wetter at first. Otherwise, it will all dry unevenly on you, which there is some beauty to that too, depending on exactly how it looks. But it is something I try to avoid sometimes because it's so demanding. You have to start every wash very wet just to ensure you get good flow. Fuse blower for underpainting the shadows, I use dioxazine violet, which is really a purple. It's a very staining color, so it won't re-wet easily in the next layer. Yeah, but on the other hand, you can't lift too, right? So that's something you need to be aware of. What have you been doing all night? Watching watercolor videos, eh? Yeah, I slept. I tried to sleep at least. I try to sleep. Let me wave at some people on Instagram here. I'm gonna wave at everyone on Instagram. So if you show up, you get a wave. We have Vincenzo. Sorry, YouTube. I'm giving some attention to Instagram. Oh, Matt. Hey, how are you doing? Can you re-wet hot press easier versus cold press? No, they're pretty much, to me, they feel the same. I would say lifting is a bit easier with hot press sometimes, not always. It's crazy how when I actually hold it up closer, more viewers are coming in. I would imagine seeing my face more up close would scare people away, but yeah. Hey, Diego, how are you doing? HP satin for pen work. The normal smooth isn't smooth enough for pens. Yeah, that is true. That is true. I have some smooth paper. It still has texture. Are they kidding me? Hot press paper. It still has texture. Hey, Divya, how are you doing? Let's see. Let's look at some filters on Instagram just for fun. What do these boomerang it out? What does this do? I have no idea. Can I do like a face something? Is there a face filter? Forgot how you do that. Whatever. Not important. Hey, Sally, how are you doing? Hope everything is well. If you have any painting, watercolor related questions, just let me know. Instagram too, you're included. What brand is that fuse blower? What is HP Satin? I'm not sure. So anyway, I started with this. Do I even have the piece of paper here? Yeah, I barely even sketched it out. I have this. I barely had any time to paint, unfortunately. I've been working on so many things. There we go. Let me show. This is my piece of paper. It's all curved up, but it's fine. It's gonna flatten as the paint will wet the paper and then dry. So it should work well. But you can see some pencil lines where I place the proportions. Wait, what is this? Okay. Oops. Sorry about that. It paused. Just the proportions for the overall where I'm going to place the trees. I was a bit hesitant if I wanted to trace. Tracing is allowed, by the way. I was a little... yeah, I know it's hot press. I just was wondering what brand does HP Satin do. Arch, do they have that? I don't know. I'm not sure. So yeah, in any case, I wanted to trace, but then I thought maybe I'd enjoy it more if I am responsible for every step of the creation process. But yeah, I've been working on a bunch of stuff that is not painting. I've been working on the Watercolor Breakthrough Club, as you might have seen everywhere. I started a watercolor club that you can join if you want to grow your skills fast. If you want to transform your watercolor skills in 6 months. One really important thing for transformation in watercolor is experimentation. Something I talk about here and there, but not enough. If you can get into a kind of mindset where you're almost discovering what happens on paper, you're not trying to force necessarily a certain result, but instead you're just kind of instead you're just putting paint to paper and then seeing what it looks like. You spend more time looking than planning a specific result. You will find that you grow, because what this does is it expands your skills. People get such tunnel vision when it comes to how they create. It's crazy because creativity is supposed to be that one thing where you don't get tunnel vision, but people get crazy tunnel vision, and they just paint essentially the same painting and the same process every single time. And I think one of the things that helped me grow, and you can see it across multiple of my paintings over the past couple of years, is a lot of my paintings look very different to one another. Oops, there goes my paper, just flew there. A lot of my paintings look very different to one another. Sometime 5 years ago, people started commenting that, yeah, you have a style, I can totally tell it's your painting. So it does happen now. For sure, people can recognize my style, but up until not that long ago, the paintings did have a very different feel. Every subject matter would bring something very different in me. And to me, that's a good thing, because it means I allow the subject matter almost to carry me wherever it makes sense. Think about it this way. You're an artist. You have all the freedom in the world to paint however you want, yet most still just paint the same way. So bound by a process to give them confidence and stability, right? This is the whole idea of, I'm going to do a first one. By the way, I can put this right next to my other camera. I have this thing here, this holder at the back of my phone. I can just do this. There we go. I'm looking at both cameras way more easily. Wow, I'm so stupid sometimes. There you go. It's so silly. There we go. Good angle for both. Kind of good angle, I guess. But yeah, it's crazy how people get such tunnel vision and just end up painting the exact same way. Hey, Shruti. Hey, Nob. Hey, Miguel. Hey, Verg. Hey, Ape. You have all the freedom in the world. How can it be that people just paint the same exact way? And that's how copycats are born. That's why you see so many Joseph Zbukvich copycats. It's that reliance on a specific way of doing things. The thing is, yes, you are getting maybe a bit of confidence, but you trade it off art. You trade it off art. I did a short on this that I think is one of my best, most important short videos, or reel, whatever. It's both on YouTube and Instagram. That I think is one of the best, because it really just talks about the chaos of the creation process and how most real artistic stuff is it's born out of chaos. Fusible are really? The block is a satin? Wait, let me check. I didn't know that. I thought it was just a normal old hot press. Let's see here. Oh, okay. I just thought it's called hot press. I didn't know it's like specifically. Huh. By the way, you know how many pages I have left in this block? Can you guess? Um, let's see if you can guess how many pages I have left here. Yeah, I'll if you get it right. I don't know what can I gift you if you get it right. I don't know. Send me a painting. I'll let you know my thoughts on it if you get it right. How many do I have here? I'll look at. Just email me on. We'll see who the winner is. Send me a painting and get my quick feedback on it for free of charge. What's how many pages I have here? It's really crazy because I have so many stuff lying in my drawers that I still haven't used. Okay, I see 1, I see 5. I see 2 here on YouTube. It's a 12-page block. I guess 3 left. 7. 1. Almost no one has got it right. So you have to try harder. Yeah, I see. Sally says 0. Let's see here. Okay, let me show you. I'm gonna pin Sally's comment because the right answer is absolutely 0. I have none left here. Sally, if you want to send me a painting for a critique, just I'll screenshot this so I remember. No screenshots during the live stream. Okay, there we go. So yeah, just send one over. I'll tell you my thoughts. It's really just 0. I was sure I have something here, and then I opened it up. To my disappointment, why am I still keeping this? Why is this still here? I have no idea. Maybe I thought I could use this like when I ship a painting just to have some kind of a hard surface, but I have tons of, you can see here, Instagram can see, I have tons of cardboard there up on the closet, and I have tons of these just to ship. So it's so funny. It's just a big 0. I'll throw this. I have nothing to do with this. I have no use for this anymore. And like when did I finish it? I don't know. I barely use hot press. I probably had it here for a while, at least like 6 months or so. But that's funny. It's funny. Do you have like tons of supplies you don't use? I'm curious to hear. I don't know what people have in their closet of supplies. Mighty fine design to use the cardboard to tape your paper down onto. That's what I would do. Yeah, I used to do that a lot actually. It's Georgie. It's Georgia, yeah. What kind of art? It's a hot press satin, turns out. But yeah, it's hot press. That pinkish violet package is a hot press paper. But yeah, usually I used to buy rough. I used to buy rough, the green one. Oh, I love that. That was really good. Do they have, what color is it? Or was it cold press? I don't know. Let's see. Arch. I'm gonna Google this. Cold press block. Yeah, okay, so the green is cold press. So what about rough? What color is rough, the rough block? I don't even remember. Oh, it's orange. Right. Okay, yeah, I have such nostalgia for the orange one because it was the one I bought first. So I bought rough arch paper. That's what I kind of got started with. And I could not for the life of me even understand how I'm supposed to paint with that strong of a tooth of a grain. I would paint over it, and all I would have is like little white gaps because I wasn't using enough. Water with it, So yeah, Fabriano makes a soft press. Oh yeah, that's kind of in the middle, right? Soft press. That's fun. Divya, hi Liron, would love to see you paint any Indian village scene. I think I might already have, but yeah, that's a good one. If you have a good photo, maybe a picture you took, send it over. I'll paint it. If it has like interesting light and shadow, send it over to me, please. I will try and paint it. Arch cardboard costs more, probably. Yeah, for sure. I just keep cardboards that people throw around the neighborhood. If I see a really good cardboard, I hunt it down. Like, that's a good cardboard. I'll do a walk with Ruth, and we'll just if I see a really good cardboard, I'll grab it. The IKEA ones are really good because they come with this thing you can already just slip the painting in, maybe add another layer, and you're good. Yeah, I'm sorry if you ever purchased a painting from me. My apologies for the packaging. I'm also OCD with the packaging. I wrap it in tons of paper just to make sure it doesn't. There's no issues. I've got at least 10 sketchbooks that are empty and several other pads of paper waiting for me. Yeah, I also have a couple of sketchbooks that are kind of third full, 10% full. Yeah, Rough Cold Torcon. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Yeah, you bring back a lot of memories. Love and Debs, how long have you been painting? I think I started seriously with watercolor around the middle of 2014. And then I started urban sketching back in 2012, 2013. And then I discovered through that watercolor. I saw, what's the name of this artist that does urban sketching, but then also adds watercolor too? There was a bunch of them, but yeah. There is Tio on YouTube who does that, right? Parka blogs. But there's another artist, I forgot his name. Maybe Mark something. I don't remember. He's pretty famous in the urban sketching movement. But in any case, yeah. And then I discovered a more kind of modern impressionistic painters, and I was blown away that you can do that kind of a thing with watercolor. And then that completely took over. I definitely can say that watercolor chose me, not the other way around. I didn't do anything really to have motivation. I just can't stop painting. And even when I don't have much time to paint, I still can't stop painting. And right now, I'm a relatively new dad, and I spend maybe 5% of my time painting, maybe 10. But I never lose motivation. It's crazy. I always want to paint more if I can. Moscow Cowboy, I'm convinced I am the next watercolor superstar. I just can't decide if I'm an expert at landscapes or architectural scenes, so I end up doing neither. It's funny. Did you ever send me your paintings? I probably remember them if you sent me them. I just don't remember if it was you. Send me a couple of paintings. I'm interested to see. By the way, everyone who sent me paintings after the previous live stream, I did a live stream on YouTube, told people to send me one. Joshua was there and he sent me a painting. Sorry for the delay, but I did reply yesterday finally to everyone. Everyone who asked, like, am I good? Will this sell? Stuff like that. I answered everyone. But Moscow Cowboy, the confidence is really important. I'm happy for you. Send me some stuff if you want me to look at it. Stephanie, dang, I started with just the cheap Hobby Lobby American. Yeah, I know Hobby Lobby brand paper, but I feel the quality of paper makes the most difference over quality of paints. Yeah, pretty much. Though even with really bad paper, you can do some really amazing stuff, Christina, knowing how much water to use, especially for light colors, has been a struggle. Too transparent light hue, i.e. in a patch of grass or fur, can look weird against less transparent dark. How much water to use, especially for light color? Yeah, I get what you say. Yeah, but the best thing about it is you can continuously add more, right? You can add more and more and more until it's dark enough. It just can. Sometimes you can get so. That's another tunnel vision thing that happens to me a lot. You can get so caught up in your little tiny bubble. You think you're darkening, and you're like fifth layer in, and it's still not dark enough because you haven't realized that this is the value scale and not just this. You know what I mean? It happens to me a lot, still to this day sometimes. Used to happen a lot more. Danger BS, what are your thoughts on Keith Fenwick? I don't know who that is. Keith Fenwick. Let's see here. Oh, very nice. I don't know what my thoughts are really. So I'm not the biggest fan of these colors. The style is very different to what I enjoy consuming. What is it? Is that watercolor? Yeah, it's actually watercolor, just applied really thick. Interesting. Yeah, it's not my favorite style. I can definitely see there's some beauty to it. It's just not really my niche, unfortunately. But it's good. Like you can see, it's solid, right? It's interesting. But yeah, not my most preferred style. I often decide against doing watercolor because I might have to wait till it's dry or use a hair dryer. Do you always wait or dry your paper, or can you just move to another part of the paper? You want to check out my, was it my last? Yeah, it was my last video. Check out my newest video on YouTube because there I show you the exact solution to this problem. Because I know it, I've been through it. I have basically developed a system for just painting. I don't have to wait for anything to dry. The trick is you just have to understand water to paint ratio. As long as you understand water to paint ratio, you can paint on any area of the painting, regardless of how wet or dry it is, but you just have to match the level of wetness in your brush. So I'm a big fan of painting a la prima in a way that I don't wait actively for things to dry. I just match whatever is in my brush to what's on paper. I would highly recommend you watch that video because it's exactly about that. Nikki just saying hi, can't sleep again, so catching a chat. Oh, thank you for being here. Maybe my voice can make you fall asleep. I know of several people who say that it does, so. Moscow Cowboy, I have not sent any yet. Okay, got it, cool. If you want to, feel free to. No pressure. Fusible values is a bit hard to get right with watercolor. The colors, lightning, and different. Yeah, that's true. So this is why I recommend printing the photo on paper, because then you can compare paper to paper. Because it's hard enough as it is to compare like a well-lit, backlit LCD or whatever screen to a piece of paper. It's really difficult. And then you have inherently what you mix on the palette looks different to what it would look on paper. When you mix an oil and it's opaque, you know that no matter what paint you're gonna apply it on, it's gonna be opaque, right? And there is a bit of wet in oil too, but you know what I mean. With watercolor, you place it down on existing paint and you kind of hope that it will work, you know what I mean? But yeah. It's a good observation. Christina, I have to head to work. Looking forward to watching the replay of this chat. Cool. By the way, Christina, let me know if you watched yesterday's exclusive live stream on the club. Feel free to let me know your thoughts too. Would be curious to hear. Yep, you got it. Shruti, hey, creativity block tips, please. Interesting. Yeah, it's hard because usually to me it's just about browsing whatever pictures I took and painting something from there. Hey, Dwayne for YouTube. Hey, that's awesome. He paints with watercolor. That's a cool username. But Shruti, I think if there is a hack to this, is to paint something you actually care about. So paint based on a picture of someone you love, or like a family member or friend or a pet, because it does tend to bring out more in you. It could be also a familiar object from your house or something like that, or from work. These things tend to lead to better results because of a concept I'm going to talk about in the exclusive webinar that I just scheduled an email to go out today. I tease it. You'll see. But yeah. Danger BS, you can send it via email. I'll put my email up on the screen. There it is. That's the one you can send stuff there. Liron@lironyan.com. If you go over to my website, by the way, you can, but that will send me a message. I don't think you can attach something there. So yeah. But yeah, and you can find my email just in the channel about tab. There should be an about or info tab or like some description. Then you'll find the email. Yeah, he said jumping over to IG. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think is the more what's the superior streaming experience on the viewer side? Is it Instagram or YouTube? I think if you're on a computer, YouTube is better. And if you're on Instagram, definitely Instagram. If you're on a phone, Instagram is better. Though I must say, YouTube's live stream interface for mobile is really good. It's not a bad interface at all. Let's see here. I've had this weird issue with streaming. I need to figure it out. I don't know why. When I try to stream with virtual camera with OBS, it won't change scenes. I don't know why. I have to figure it out because I need multiple scenes. It's weird. I'm on phone and YouTube is better. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm a YouTube guy. You know, I'm here. Here I am on YouTube making videos. So I'm definitely more on the YouTube. Just I joined Instagram later, not that later though, but I'm definitely a YouTube kind of person. Most of my entertainment comes from YouTube, maybe a bit of Netflix, but yeah. My newest area of interest is PTCG Pocket, if you're playing it, the new Pokemon, relatively new Pokemon app. Adam, I struggle in drawing. Yeah, that's a whole other can of worms, drawing. But it definitely, some principles do apply. You can measure more carefully and get proportions of stuff more carefully if you devote more time to it, you know. You can always compare where stuff is. Really use a ruler to measure, right? You can do a lot if you really, really want to get things accurately. Now, if you're talking about from imagination, that's a completely different skill. I'm not that good at it, by the way, too. Just for basic shapes, I can do. Love and Debs, I'm on an iPhone, and I was watching your videos and saw that you're live. Oh, cool. So did you get oh, you saw that the channel is live. Yeah, that's nice. That's how I discover live streams too sometimes. It's almost like no one has a habit of hitting the bell and actually getting a notification when someone goes live. It's always you're on YouTube and you see the red, the red icon. Naramio, you are awesome. I really like your tutorials. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Really appreciate that. On Instagram. Yeah, Instagram seems to be mostly watching. I wonder if people are kind of quietly watching at work or something like this. And Nikki, I prefer YouTube for the live streams. Cool. You know what's so funny, Nikki? Your profile pic, it always reminds me of something. And it has nothing to do with it, and somehow it reminds me of Chopper from One Piece. If there's any One Piece fans here, it looks like the side of Chopper's hat, and then the fingers look almost like the antlers, even though it has nothing to do with it. Like visually, when I look at it from the side, the people on Instagram, oops, I got a notification, sorry. People on Instagram aren't gonna see this, but let me, maybe I can show it to you real quick. Wait, oops, no, it won't work. Never mind. Can't figure it out. But in any case, yeah, it reminds me of Chopper. It's so funny. Fuseblor got the opposite problem. My work is really colored drawings. Would really like to make real watercolors. Yeah, that's... So if you remember on my video on 12 insights for winning watercolor, the last one says painting is easy if you see it for what it is, which is really just putting paint on paper. And I think some kids do that naturally when they paint. They really think in terms of shapes. Not to say they're representational or accurate, but they think in terms of shapes. And it's a skill. You can develop it. Just seeing something and painting it as a shape. It's way more fun for me too. I get what you're saying. I haven't really been exactly there. I had different issues. But if you can look at like these cars, right, and you're like, that's a shape, and that's another shape to the side, and the ground is a shape, you know what I mean? Then you will break through from that. Nikki, you know Chopper from One Piece, or did you Google that? I don't know. It's so strange that it reminds me of that. Yeah, the little guy from One Piece. Yes, that's what I said. Tony Choppa. I love Chopper. Anyone watching the One Piece? What's it called? The live action. I'm looking forward to the next season. The trailer looked good, even though I heard it's not going to be as good as season 1. I'm curious. Let me know. In the meantime, I'm going to read Spurlock's question. Hi, Liron. Do you draw your compositions first, then trace onto the watercolor paper to paint, or as some artists do, trace a photograph onto your watercolor paper? Yeah, I do everything directly on the watercolor paper. I don't use like a transfer paper or anything like that, or an intermediary. I'll either put my watercolor paper on my computer monitor and use it like a light table, shut the lights, and trace, or I will just draw from observation. That's usually how I do it, you know. Fuse Blower, yeah, I see angles and lines. Other people might see shapes. Instead, perhaps it just comes down to how people see the world. Maybe, but I think you can really, you can play around with how you see the world. There's no reason not to increase the range of how you see the world. a lot of people dismiss stuff as, that's not me. I'm not this kind of a person. And by doing that, they're kind of limiting themselves, Danger BS, what is your favorite anime? Yeah, I actually just had this talk with some family that was here. Favorite anime, I think the one I enjoyed most has to be Attack on Titan. That's in terms of, like, I can say that it's not necessarily the most, like, it really is high quality, but it's not necessarily like the best story. It is a really good story, but you could probably dig in and find something that the story is considered more high quality. But I mean, I have to say that Attack on Titan is the one I enjoy the most. It has fantastic story, good characters. There are better characters in other anime. It has good moments, has a lot of good moments, scenes that I enjoy watching over and over again. Every couple of months, I'll remember, oh, that's a really good scene. I'll watch it. AOT is my favorite too. What it's called. If I have to think of a couple of close seconds, I did really enjoy Naruto as a kid when I was younger. Looking back at it now, a lot of it is pretty slow and boring. Same with One Piece, by the way. If you re-edit it, because you can't help it, Attack on Titan is more modern. If you re-edit Naruto and One Piece to have better pacing, of course it's going to be better. But yeah, just on the basis of merit of it, I liked Naruto a lot. I enjoyed Bleach a lot back in the day. Death Note has to be somewhere in the top. It's really, really good. I watched so many animes that I don't remember anymore. Like, what did I watch that's more interesting? I really want to watch Overlord. I love the songs, the intros and outros of Overlord, but I just really can't make the time to watch the anime. The anime looks really good, but to me, it's just, I don't know. I can't find the moment, unfortunately. Chainsaw Man, I read the manga up to like chapter 90, Lemon Cat, and I enjoyed it, but I love this. My Instagram can see it. It's really funny. I love the intro, the song, and the animation. But yeah, I don't know. It's a little weird for me. I find it really hard to connect with newer animes. I do want to watch Solo Leveling. I read the whole thing. It was really good. I read it on vertical format on my iPad. It worked really well for that. Solo Leveling is definitely one thing I would like to to watch at some point. I really enjoyed the read. I also enjoyed what's the name of the other one? Omniscient Reader, is it? Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. Okay, that's a weird name. That one's good in the same vein, kind of manhwa style. Is there a theme that's good for beginners to practice? That's a good question. A theme, I think it's more about practicing. If you want to get better at a certain technique, you just practice that technique, right? But I think the best theme, so to speak, is something that inspires you, something that really makes you want to, something that you feel like you can slow down. That's how I feel. At least to me, it feels like I can slow down and just stare at my brush while I paint the thing. Or something that invigorates you, right? There's two sides of the same coin. It evokes some kind of passion in you. That passion can come in the form of something a little more chill, but it can also come in the form of something you really, really want to express, That's how it feels to me, at least, like in my body. That's how it feels when I paint this way. I just found a card that actually looks like it's to the side, so I'm going to rotate it the next time I paint this. It's funny. Watercolor Pour. Hey, how are you doing? Happy to watch your live stream cleaning my studio, knowing it will look tostic in a couple of days. Yeah, it's like, what's the point, right? Hey, Julia. How about cellulose paper? I tried it when traveling to another country, and I found the one with shell texture, and I really liked it, but I can't find anything closer to it in the United States. Actually, I'm a big fan of cellulose paper. I think if you learn how to work with it, it's a really fun paper. I'm going to let Instagram go, I think. Feel free to join because my phone's about to die, basically. I think Instagram ends live streams after an hour anyway, and it's going to be an hour exactly in 30 seconds. So bye-bye, Instagram. You can join over on YouTube. And now, cool. How do I, okay, so share? I don't know. Your saved live videos are now Reels. Okay, cool. Got it. But I'll have to figure it out later. I will have to figure it out later. So I'll close this and hope it doesn't disappear on me. So yeah, I'm a big fan of cellulose paper. I think the closest one I can think of is what paper was it? Montval, Canson Montval was pretty close. I'm gonna write it down in the chat. Canson Montval. I'll do it, Julia. That was pretty dang good paper. I enjoyed it a lot. You just kind of learn to work with it, and it leads to really good results, in my opinion. Fuse Blower, a lot of animes mess up the ending, like Soul Eater, Claymore. Somehow the anime gets completed before the manga. Yeah. Oh, another one I haven't mentioned, Full Metal Alchemist. That's a really good one. I enjoyed it so much. It has such a unique feel to it. I watched both Brotherhood and the original one. That's funny enough ended before the manga, so they had to kind of wrap it up differently. Those are good. I love the soundtracks too. The soundtracks are really, really good. But yeah, I read Claymore manga, and it was really good until it got super boring at some point in like volume 5 or 6. I don't remember. Like I actually had the physical ones, took them from the library. So I read like 5 volumes, and then it became boring for some reason. I'm not sure. Soul Eater I haven't tried. I wanted to, but thanks for the heads up. Not that I'll have time in the near future. But yeah. Fuse Blower, Free Rent stays close to the manga, and the manga is years ahead of the anime. Yes, is it not over yet, Free Rent? I haven't watched it. Everyone says it's so good, so I'll have to at some point. Sanish, has any anime ever inspired you to paint something? Yes, I made some paintings inspired by Berserk. I made a lot of art inspired by Berserk. So you can probably Google it and find it. I don't know. It'll be hard to find, but I did a couple of scenes from Berserk. I also did a couple of scenes from Attack on Titan. And you could look at Pokemon as something like an anime, because I did make a lot of Pokemon paintings. So yeah. Danger BS. Any books you recommend for watercolor? Nah, just this one. This one I have over here. That's a good book on watercolor painting. It's by this guy called Liron. No, just for inspiration. It has no real how-tos. No, I don't have a good recommendation. I don't think I ever read a good watercolor book. They're out there. But I haven't. I think there's one on color that's quite popular, but then nothing beats experimentation, so you'll end up wanting to try out the different combinations anyway, you know. Shorty, your favorite watercolor brand? Ooh, I have a nice spot in my heart for M. Graham. They're really good. But you know, SAA, Daniel Smith, pretty good. Shinhan PWC. It's hard to find a favorite. I gotta blow my nose. I have no toilet paper, so let me go get some. Give me a second. Now I could talk to you as I do this, but the baby's asleep. So it's best not to. Free Reign will begin next season, next year. That's cool. You know what I'm looking forward to, by the way? Alice in Borderland. We watched the first 2 seasons. Is it 2 seasons? I don't remember. Yeah, I think so. So we watched the 2 seasons. Looking forward to season 3. That's going to happen soon. Yeah, shameless plug for sure. Shorty, your current favorite brush? Ooh, that's a good question. Current favorite brush? This one's really good. The Michael Soloviev one. I used it to paint the sky here. As you can see here and here. I used it also to paint the background, the first couple of washes in my flying street lamp highway lights. The car painting at night, the really good one. I use this too. It's a really good brush for wet and wet. It has really good control. I don't know what exactly it has to do with this material, but it has really good control. Wet and wet, it has great capacity. Michael Soloviev is a bright guy. It's a good one, you know. Watercolor porn, not anime, but Arcane is full of color inspiration. Yeah, I totally get it. I watched, yeah, they're really good. Um, I watched, wait a second, my YouTube's going crazy. I watched the first season, but I haven't yet got a chance to watch the second season. I heard it's not as good, but then I heard it's also really good. So I heard from multiple people. I definitely want to give it a try. I really enjoyed the first season, but here's my problem with it. I think for the first season, at least, it's such a missed chance, missed opportunity, because I could see maybe it's my anime brain. I'm thinking about different story directions and the more anime manga storytelling type, but I felt like I needed so much more information, about the world, about the characters, about everything. The time skip they did, it's all necessary and it's a really good story, but it just left me really wanting more. I can give you another similar example, Neon Genesis Evangelion. It really left me wanting more, like more information. And I know later on they develop it a bit in future episodes that I never ended up watching yet, at least not yet. But yeah, Arcane is wonderful. Arcane is really good. Just left me wanting more, more information, more, just filling in the gaps. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just how I felt after watching it. Hey Laura, how are you doing? Good morning. I love watching your videos. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Yes, so I think we'll soon start wrapping it up. Danger BS in Arcane, that was done knowingly so you can play their game. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah. What is it? Is it League of Legends? Sorry, I'm so dumb when it comes to video games. Arcane League of Legends. Okay, yeah. So it is League of Legends. Yeah, that makes sense. I suppose if you play the game and you're more familiar with it, yeah, it's a totally different experience. I'm really not a gamer. I wish I was more of a gamer, but yeah, the occasional gamer. I have like 20 games on my Steam library. I probably played 80, 70% of them, but I probably finished 25% of them. Sometimes I lose interest. Sometimes it's hard to even develop the interest. I definitely had more video game interest when I was younger, but at some point I just lost it, Watching while taking an Epsom salt bath. Oh, that's fun. Epsom salt is, let me see. I think I got some Epsom salt. Yeah, I got some pregnancy stuff. They say it's good for that. So yeah, we got some. But yeah, I like this. I like these Thursday streams. It's like it's the end of the week. I'd rather just be blabbing on here. Hopefully, it's enjoyable, as people say. But yeah, it's the past couple of weeks have been intense. I've been just building. And now that I finished building, it's now marketing. You know what I mean? I'm really excited though. This is probably the project I'm most excited about. Basically, I don't know, anyone here registered for the webinar on September 9th? Let me know. Let me know in the chat, because I think you'll like what I'm about to share. But yeah, I just scheduled, I mentioned earlier, I just scheduled an email to go out and kind of tease a bit of what we'll talk about. Something I call the BEST method. Hey, Marjorie. Hi, it's great to see you too. This has been a fun live stream. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. So yeah, just building, the reality of having art as your source of income, as the business. You have to sell, and you have to sell something. The question is what you sell. And for many people, it's different. I love selling the educational stuff. I love selling the paintings too, but yeah. So I love building, right? I love building the products, building the courses, building the websites. I really enjoy all of that. But then you don't get to paint for a while, and then you finally get to paint, and it feels so good. So right now I finished building basically a whole new website for the club. the sales funnel, everything that has to do with email lists, filming a couple of new courses. And now, hopefully, what I can do more of is this, right? It's painting more and doing more demonstrations for the club and sharing more art and marketing the thing more. So it's fun. I feel like I'm finally changing phases, Sometimes it's crazy because I've been doing a lot of things also that I'm not that good at, like intense Facebook ads and copywriting, things that I can improve a lot at. But it's funny, once you get in the groove, it becomes so much easier that I almost, when I finished building, now I'm like, okay, so what? Back to content, filming videos and painting. And I felt unaccustomed to that. It was a different shift for me. I'm like, oh, so yeah, I haven't felt this way in a while. It's almost like you get much better at the thing you do more of. So now I'm really sharp on like filming more of the sales video type of videos and writing ads and designing images for ads and creative for the website. It's so funny how that works, Danger BS, what skills are required to do landscapes? It's all the same skill at the end of the day. I think what's really necessary is a vision. The problem with landscapes is usually there's a lot of elements involved, or cityscapes, that it's very easy to let that overpower the vision you already kind of had in mind. Whereas what you had in mind is perfect. What you see when you look at the scene, what you see, what your brain interprets and gets from it is perfect. And then instead of going with that, most people are like, okay, but this, I need to paint this thing exactly as it is, this waterfall shape. Just go with what it evokes in you. That's the thing. It's very hard to teach this kind of a thing. I will try in the webinar, by the way. But it is possible. Where can we sign for the webinar? I'll drop a link here, actually. It'll be the easiest way. I'll drop a link. You just click the link, share. There's a lot of people who have registered. I'm so happy. I didn't think it will be this much. Webinar. So you click this link, you register, and you add it basically to your calendar so you don't forget, and you'll get a separate email that tells you how to access the webinar itself. Josephine, I like these chats too. They encourage me. Awesome. I'm really happy to hear. Fusible or flat wash for the sky? Yeah, perhaps. Just a flat wash. But that's, to me, I need it in every painting. So, so yeah. So the webinar is going to be, I'm going to tease it a bit more. I'm basically going to launch the club there officially. So what I did was in kind of early bird promotion, mostly for people who are already invested in what I do, people who already purchased courses. I know exactly, like, with high accuracy, who purchased what, because I run a really tight ship when it comes to my CRM, at least for emails. So if someone buys the frustration-free watercolor course, they go on a list. If someone buys the watercolor realism course or buys it later or immediately, they go on a different list. So I marketed mostly to those who are already invested, those who watch a lot, those who support me on Patreon and so on, for an early bird price, the current price. And on September 9th, I'll launch officially, and then it's going to go up to the full price. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at. If you want to join, now is the best time. You basically get my feedback on your paintings. I think that's the most important feature, honestly. If you want to actually paint like you, right? Paint paintings that feel like you, not like a copy of someone else, or not like you're following. See, that's the thing that drives me nuts. And I see this a lot with my students. I will say I see this more with students that do in-person lessons. It's just these blinds that make you just follow a process instead of make art. Does that make sense? You just follow a process. Art has no process. Yes, there are techniques you learn, but you learn them separately. You learn them and then you have them. You don't lose them. You understand water and color and how they work together. All of that good stuff. But once you do, it's about art. There is no real process that led me. I wasn't following a pre-prescribed thing to do this. I just did it. You know what I mean? And I think that's such a good feeling. And it's too bad that not enough people experience that, you know. And hopefully, by learning more directly from me, whether that's the live streams over there, this one was painted yesterday, whether that's the critiques, whether that's the community, I just hope to bring more people into this feeling, you know. It's life too short to waste your time struggling. There is a moment in watercolor painting where it just becomes effortless. And there's really a before and after. And you know what? I might be able to go back and find, for me, the painting that made that switch for me. It's not that the painting made a switch, it marks the switch. And the other side is so much more fun. Even if I fail now at a painting, at least I failed it my way. You know what I mean? The result is still my own. I shared this painting recently. People made fun of it in a way. It's fine. I get it. It was like a really quick sketch, and the hand looks a little skewed. It's because it's incomplete. But to me, it's the prettiest thing ever because I just let my senses guide me. You know, I just let them tell me how to paint. And yeah, the line between style and method is blurry. I think style is what happens when you just paint, when you don't try to do anything. That's the way I see it. Your style shines through no matter what. You can't avoid showing your style in your art. It's going to show, you know, the brush you're using will show, the unique colors you're using will show, the little quirks in how you handle water and paint will show, your mistakes will show, right? The things that you're not so good at will show, and that's actually a good thing. To me, that's really a good thing, because it makes it your own, right? And I'd much rather that my paintings feel like they're mine. Let me show you. I have some other pieces here. Let me see if I can find something interesting. Just quick kind of, oops, sorry for the noise. I have this one here too. Oh, that's a nice one. Don't know where I moved it, but whatever. There we go. See, this is the quick demo I did before, the one you see to the right. I just showed the concept, how that works, you see? And this is so fun and simple. I basically shared the idea of this process was, let me make the picture a little larger. The idea of this process was, can I do equal sizes? No, I can't. Whatever. Oh, wait, I can edit this. Oh, let me see. I can probably... whatever. I basically taught a way to not overthink the process. And it's very cool because it's in how you place your shapes and your colors. There is something really cool about that. You'll have to join the club to see the live stream and understand what I talk about. But it's just a really fun way to paint. And that illustrates here. See this I did here on YouTube, right? You saw me doing this on a live stream, just showing you how I approach like parts of a scene and kind of study it. And you see it's a big mess, but you can kind of tell it's my mess. You know, I feel like I can tell. This is hot press, right? So that's a completely different bag of issues, as they say. But you know, looking at these, they look pretty cool. I like them. It's an exploration of an idea, and I can definitely tell this is my own. If you saw the painting I shared on Instagram recently, I shared a stages of a painting. It's this one. This was the prep for it. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. Let me actually put that up on the screen too. Do I have it here already? Nope, I don't. I'll add it. Work. I think it's under painting projects. And then if we go to, how long ago was it? Yeah, there it is. Scans, stages there. I wanted to show you the one with the stages. Let's see. Because that's the post. So this painting, right? You know which one I'm talking about? So you see, this was the preparation for it. It's a mess, but that's the visual idea. That's what matters. The rest is almost like small decorations. You know what I mean? But from this, you can very directly develop this. I know it looks like a big kind of leap, but it's actually very, very possible. Fuse blower, you said, would love to be able to do watercolor with the same fluidity as I do pencil sketches. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, the idea is blue and ochre yellow with a gray in the middle, just to make sure it doesn't turn green, and the darks, the grays. That's also an important part of it, with a mix of the blue inside the puddles reflecting the sky, you know. And then you have some of the lines and the clouds and all the specifics, right? One more thing I demonstrated yesterday was this. So I showed what happens to many people when they get lost in how they paint stuff and then how to just get over it. To me, this is one of the most important things, really. More important than really mastering technique, so to speak. More important than mastering color harmony. This unlocks doors to freedom. I think that's the more time passes, the more like, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I want to do with my art. So yeah, I would highly recommend you check it out if you're looking for that kind of thing. By the way, the thing I said I will improve on this one on the left. So it's this. I want to make the green a little, not necessarily simpler, but just below that, just push it to be a little stronger, you know? And I love that it's coming out of the frame. That's a really cool one. And it goes to show, you know, how you can do the same idea, different versions. Different versions and different levels of detail, different levels of finishes, you know. Some people stop here, but why not take your art to the next level, right? Make it a little better. Little wash of phthalo green. Yeah, so I'll probably mix my yellow with my phthalo blue and get the same effect. Probably this is how I'll achieve this. We'll see. It's gonna be a thin glaze. But in case, yeah, I'm starting to get tired. Sorry for the yawn. We'll probably wrap it up. I have a couple of more things to work on and wrap up before I finish my workday. It is now 4:38 p.m. It's like, yeah, now work begins. No, but it's small stuff. I hope you enjoyed this one. Really appreciate you being here. And do join the webinar if you want some more information on the club. If you just want to get in the club, get in now, because the price is going to be the full price during the webinar. Oh, I see 3 more people just joined from the stream here. Thank you so much. Thank you. I don't see the details. I just see it's 3 more people. So thank you. Really appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon. Hey, it's 1:30 a.m. here. There you go. There you go. That's a bit of a crazy time. Wait, so is it PM, you mean? Or like in the morning? I don't know. Have a great evening. Thank you so much, Dwayne. Really appreciate it. Yeah, we'll have something to eat probably too soon. But yeah, we'll talk to you soon. There is no video Saturday, but there will be one next week. I kind of settled on like a live stream and a video. A video for usually it's Tuesday and a live stream Thursday, or sometimes no live stream, unfortunately. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, 10 a.m. That makes more sense. That's cool. So wait, 10 a.m. That reminded me where you are, because if you're 10 a.m., that's 6 hours difference to me. 6 hours. That is like, I don't know what. UK. What is 6 hours? Let me see here. I mean, it could be many places. I'm just wondering. Yeah, no, UK is. Oh, so it's Europe probably. Atlantic Canada. Really? Really? That's the time there. It's crazy. Huh. How does that make sense? Oh yeah, it actually does make sense. Yeah, silly me. Yeah, Europe is later. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what happened. Why I thought it's yeah, that makes total sense. The Labrador Sea. I like looking at maps sometimes. New Brunswick. Okay, cool, cool. All these areas, I love them. I played. It reminds me of Assassin's Creed Rogue. I think it was Rogue. You see Rogue. Yeah, yeah. That's a beautiful setting. I mean, it's a bit of a wait. Oh, it's not Rogue. No, it is Rogue. Yeah, it is Rogue. Yeah, Shay Cormac reminds me a bit of that. Those areas, those regions. But in case, yeah, we'll head out. Thank you so much for being here. Anyone I said to email me, send me stuff. And yeah, we'll talk real soon. I'll see you soon. Take care.